Hi, friends. All right, so we're doing math with Miss Acton again today. Woohoo! I know you're all excited. But the good news about today's lesson is it's going to be going over the same kind of topic that we went over yesterday. So if you remembered how Miss Acton used the connecting cubes and we took equations and we're able to switch the add-ins but still get the same sum, the same answer. That's kind of what we're doing today, but we're using a different math tool today that you need to practice. So that's mainly what it is today. So let's go ahead and find out what you will be doing today. So what will you be able to say that you can do, that you will be doing after this lesson? I will complete a math workbook lesson using virtual tools. So math workbook. Envisions, the math workbook that you guys had in first grade if you're at Rutherford, and you had it in kindergarten if you're at Rutherford, and you would have it in second grade if we were in class right now. It is your math workbook. It's real thick and it's got real paper thin pages. Well, it comes as a virtual workbook too that you guys can pull up on your computers and you guys can actually do the problems virtually. So that's what Miss Acton is going to be teaching you today. So you're going to complete a lesson. A lesson is 5 pages, and you're going to be using virtual tools. Now you're like, virtual tools, what in the world is that? I'm going to show you. It's tools that you can use to help complete the work that are in those lesson pages in your math workbook, your Envisions workbook. So I'm going to show you kind of what the workbook pages look like. So hopefully this looks familiar to you. I'll move me up here so you can see a little bit better. So hopefully this looks familiar to you. This is usually how the lesson starts. It has a solve and share where you kind of have a word problem that you need to figure out, and it gives you a big box to do your work in. And over here on the side of this is your actual virtual tools I was talking about. So it's got all these different options that you can choose, and we're going to go over them today to show you how you can work on them to finish your assignments. And then there's a guided practice page, there's an independent practice page, there's a problem solving page, there's a homework page that you guys are going to be doing too because you're technically at home doing work. But you'll see that you'll be able to use these tools over here on the side to be able to complete all these empty boxes, do your work in this, and be able to get your work done. And Miss Acton and Miss Ramos and Miss Jess can see your work that you did, which is pretty cool. So let's exit out of there and let's go to the learning for the day. So here is our video that shows us what we're learning today. And it's basically going over what Miss Acton taught you yesterday. So
you know how to count on to find a number. You can count on to find 6 plus 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or count on to find 3 plus 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is it easier to count on from the greater number, 6, or from the lesser number, 3?
Select your answer.
So Miss Acton has watched this video a few times today, so I knew that she was going to do a thing like that. She's thinking, just like you guys are about to do. So the way I look at this is if you use the first strategy where you start with 6 and count on by 3 to get to 9, you're doing 4 steps. 6, 7, 8, 9. You're counting by 4. I can't lift up that last finger very well. Here, let's try this way. 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 times. So you're doing 4 steps to get to your answer, 4. Whereas if you're doing starting with 3 and counting up by 6 to get to 9, you're going to be doing, I'm not on my desk today, so it might be a little bit sloppy. Let's back where you can see my fingers this way. You're going to count 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 steps. So this one, where you're starting at 6 and counting it by 3, you have 4 steps. This one, where you're starting with 3, counting it by 6 to get to 9, you have 7 steps. A lot more steps. So work easier. Make your work easier. Start with that bigger number first, no matter what your equation is. It doesn't always have to be 6 plus 3. Whatever your add-ins are, the two numbers you're adding together, start with that bigger number and then count up by the other one. And it'll be a lot less steps and it'll make it a lot easier. Woohoo!
If you count from the greater number, You do not have to count on as many.
Counting on from the greater number is easier.
Makes way more sense. Yep.
How is 6 plus 3 the same as 3 plus 6? When you add 6 plus 3, the value is 9. When you add 3 plus 6, the value is 9.
So this is what Miss Acton kind of showed you guys yesterday. If you did your assignment yesterday for math, is that this group of 6 and this group of 6 did not change in any way. The only thing they did was just move from the beginning of this connecting cube stack to the end of the connecting cube stack. This group of 3 and this group of 3 are the exact same. There's no yellow block that appeared. There's not an extra blue block. There's not a red block that disappeared and fell on the floor. It's the exact same number. So if it's the exact same amount of cubes both time, you're gonna get the same exact equation. And the reason why we're practicing this, because you're like, okay, what do I do with this? It's because if you see an equation on a test or on an assignment that Miss Acta, Miss Ramos, or Miss Jess has made for you, and you know that 6 plus 3 equals 9, guess what? You know what 3 plus 6 is too, because you just took those add-ins and switched them. Great way to look at equations, and it'll help you solve them 2 times faster.
An equation uses an equal sign to show that the value on the left is the same as the value on the right.
Ooh, let's try it. So, let's do,
3 plus 6 equals 9.
so the 3
3
came,
plus 6 equals 9.
so the 3 came first, plus the 6, but all together it equals 9. I bet I know what it's going to say whenever I move the blocks over on this side.
6 plus 3 equals 9.
So whenever I moved it from here to here to here to here to here to here,
6 plus 3 equals 9.
so no matter where I move this group of 3, whether it's the beginning of our equation or the end of our equation, no blocks disappeared and no blocks were added to it. So it's always going to be the same number.
How are these two addition equations alike? They both use the same addends, 3 and 6. They both have the same sum, 9.
Oh my gosh, they said the word add-ins and
How
sum.
are they different? The order of the addends is different. You can change the order of the addends. The sum is the same.
Aren't you so happy that Miss Acton did a lesson talking about what the add-in and the sum is? That way you weren't confused when we got to these lessons. The easy way is for you to just say the two numbers added together and the answer. That is not what smart second graders that are good at math do, and that's not what your math workbook's going to make you do either. They're going to challenge you. They're going to make you do everything harder. So they're going to give you the actual number for these, not just the two numbers you added together. They're the add-ins. That's what their name is. That's what you're supposed to call them. And this is not just the answer. This is the sum. That's what it's supposed to be called. So that's what your math workbook is going to call it. That's why we practiced those words the other day.
You can write the facts this way too.
Up and down. Yeah. We practiced that too. Yep, and so this was called the vertical way. Vertical is a 4th and 5th grade word, so you do not need to know that, but it's basically just taking the same equation and writing it up and down, and this long line right here is just another way of writing your equal symbol.
How do you know that 6 plus 3 equals 3 plus 6?
So a minute ago, she said that the equal symbol just shows you that what's on this side of the equation is the same equals what's on this side of the equation. So I know that 6 connecting cubes and 3 connecting cubes are always going to be the same as 3 connecting cubes and 6 connecting cubes. So I know that they're the same on both sides. So this equation is correct. That equal symbol is showing there that they are the same value. They equal the same thing on both sides.
Because 6 plus 3 equals 9 and 3 plus 6 equals 9. You can add numbers in any order and the sum is the same. So 6 plus 3 equals 3 plus 6.
All right, good job. So that was our new learning for today. So now let's do it. So what you're going to do is then you're going to go into your math work and you watch the video, which is this, and now you're going to click on Math Realize and go to your interactive workbook page. So I'm going to do that really quick on my page because Miss Acton can't access yours because I'm not logged in as a student. I'm logged in as a teacher, so it'll just take me to the teacher page and not to the interactive workbook. So I'm going to go to the interactive student edition, the first lesson, lesson 1. Oh, sound me out. Hold on. For some reason this week, technology has just not been our friend. We are in topic 1 because that's what we start off at the beginning of the year. And we are in the first lesson of the topic because we have not done any of this Envisions math workbook. We want to go to the interactive student workbook. And this is where it gets exciting. I don't know where I want to put me yet. Where should we put Miss Acton? Up here? Over here? Down here? Up here? Up here? I'm going to go right here. I want to be up high so I can watch all you. Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to. All right, so I'm going to go over the tools for you guys. Before I get started, the one thing that I noticed that helps me is the zoom. What? The zoom. I'm going to show you. So over here, yours will look a lot different than Miss Acton's. I've got all kinds of stuff saved down here that teachers need to be successful teaching every day. And I have all kinds of tools up here that also help teachers be successful every day. You're going to go over here to these 3 dots over here, and it should be in the same spot that Miss Acton's is at. And down here it says zoom. So right now I'm at 90% zoom. If I add the zoom, it means I'm going to go in a little bit more. Ooh, do you see my picture got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger? Now I'm like, I can't even see like where I'm supposed to be working at. So 175% is definitely not where I want to be at. So let's take it back down to 90 where I had it. And I like that. But if I go a little bit smaller to 80%, then to 70%, I start to see more of the page. And here at 67%, I can actually see the bottom of the equation. That's like the final thing I'm supposed to do. So I can see everything that I'm supposed to do on this page. I can still read this stuff really well. But the one thing I don't like is I can't see my tools as well as I would like to. And that's what I'm showing you guys. So I want to make sure we can see them really well. So I'm going to zoom in just one more and keep it at 75%. I think that's perfect. Scroll down just a little bit. So the tool that I'm using right now is the pointer. And that's why everywhere I go on this page, it's the pointer arrow. The next tool that we have is the draw tool. And if you hover your little finger over it, it will actually tell you what it's called. So it's called the draw tool. And you have the option of either drawing a freeform line, which basically means scribbles, scrabbles, scribbles, or you can do straight lines. You do not want to do straight lines today. The only time that you would ever want to do straight lines is if we're doing shapes like squares and rectangles and triangles, not even circles. But anything that needs a straight line, you might want to do that. But that's not for a long time, like till the end of the school year before summer break. So you want to stick with the freeform line or the scribble line. You can pick whatever color that you want. I like to use red because Envisions doesn't use a lot of red. They use a lot of greens and purples and blacks. So I'm going to choose red. That way it really stands out and my teacher can really see my work that I'm doing. So I'm going to choose red. And you can also choose how big you want the pen to be. Um, I know most of you guys are like, let's make it the biggest we can. It'll look like this, and it's really hard to fit a lot of really small stuff. 4 plus 5, and I've almost taken up my entire page, so I don't want to do that. Oh my gosh, I got all this writing on here. What should I do? Guess what? You have tools that you can use to erase this work. So if you do mess up, you don't like the color that you used, your connecting cubes don't look that great, whatever it is that you don't like this work down here, you can erase it. And there's a bunch of different ways. You can do the erase tool where you click on that and you can choose how big you want your eraser, how small you want your eraser. I want big because I need to erase all of that. And you can go over here and start erasing it and erase that work that you need. So that works whenever you've made like one little teeny tiny mistake and you can go over there and just teeny tiny just erase it. Or you can also push the undo button. So it undid my erasing that I just did, but it's also going to undo all of the symbols that I just made with my drawing. And the undo button will only work for a little bit, so it all of a sudden goes gray because it only let me undo like 3 or 4 things at a time. So that undo button only works if you just made the mistake. You can also redo it. So I'm like, I don't know, I like that. I want that 5 back on there. I want some of that equal symbol on there too. It can redo it for you. But you can also go down here to the bottom where it has the trash can. It says clear all. The only problem is that it's going to delete everything. When I mean everything on every single page of this. It won't just delete what's on here. So be cautious with that one. This is if you want to start from the very beginning and erase all of the work that you've done. And there's going to be 5 pages of this. So if you're on the very last page and you click this delete all button, it's going to delete everything that you did, and you're going to have to go all the way back to the first page and do page 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all over again. So be cautious with the delete all. I recommend the erase button, making it really, really big, not small, not very small, but really, really big, and just erasing the little pieces that you need to take off. And take your time, guys. Today is for you to learn. So don't rush through it. Take your time and really get to know this tool. That way the next day you're better at it, and the next day you're better at it, and then a week from now this is easy peasy for you. You won't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I keep messing this up. You're going to have it down pat. So don't expect you to be perfect today. And you're going to see when Miss Acton starts doing this that I am not perfect at this either. Just practice it, okay? So first thing I need to do is find out what my question is asking me. It says use cubes to show 4 plus 5. So first thing I want to do is my draw tool. And I want it to be red because like I said, red really stands out. I don't want it to be huge. I want it to be not too small, but kind of big to where my teacher can see it and I can see it when I'm working. So it wants me to use cubes to show 4 plus 5. So the first thing I want to do is write my equation. 4 plus 5. And that is not perfect, but you know what? It is okay. So when you are making this, if yours is sloppy and not the prettiest, as long as Miss Acton, Miss Ramos, and Miss Jess can see what you're trying to write, it is okay. Do not keep erasing it. Do not keep spending like 20 minutes on this one page trying to make it perfect, because I promise you it won't be perfect. Just make it to where your teacher can read it, okay, and then it'll be fine. All right, so I wrote my equation, and the next it told me to use cubes. I mean, I could draw cubes, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll go pick another color to make the 5. I'll do blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's one option that you can do. Or you can use the stamp button. So your stamp button has some of these options where you can use your tens frame, which we will be using in later lessons. And you have your dots to fill it in. You also have the X that X's out some of those dots to show subtraction. Oh, I clicked on that. I did not want that. You also have connecting cubes. Yeah. So you guys can use these instead of sitting here and drawing all these blocks. You guys can use these connecting cubes. It also has base 10 blocks. This will be used in like topics like basically not until like Thanksgiving time. You guys will be using these right here, so don't worry about those. And then after holiday time, when we come back and the snow's falling and it's really cold outside, is when we'll be doing money. So don't worry about this money right now. And I'm telling you what, if I get on any of these and any of my friends have all these $100 bills everywhere, I will not be happy. Do not play around with $100 bills. We do not need them in there. All right, we're gonna undo all those. Undo, 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 undo. We don't want all you. I'm gonna erase that last one because my undo button ran out. Erase you. All right, so since I know I'm going to go to my stamps and I'm going to use these connecting cubes, I'm going to go ahead and erase this guy because I don't like these. They're sloppy. I mean, they're not too bad, but they're not perfect. And I want perfect connecting cubes. That way I can really see my learning. And I'm going to do blue for the 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, they're perfect. It's perfect. And then I'm going to do green. You guys like green? Yeah, you like green? We'll do green. And then we'll do green for the 5. 1, 2. You hear I'm clicking? Every time I click, it stamps it down. 3, 4, 5. So every time you click, it'll make a stamp. So I've got 4 plus 5. So use cubes to show 4 plus 5. Did that. What does it want me to do next? What will happen to the total number of cubes if you change the order of the numbers being added? So if we take, instead of 4 plus 5, we switch them and make 5 plus 4. Y'all are smart. We've been doing this for 2 days. You just watched the video over and you watched the video yesterday and didn't assignment. You know what's going to happen, but it wants me to show it. And we need to practice, so we're going to show it. So first I'm going to do I think I already had it, my green connecting cubes for my 5, because I'm going to show 5 first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm clicking every time to make that stamp. My 4 was shown as the blue connecting cube, so I'm going to do the blue ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go up and grab my drawing tool. I'm going to make sure that it's red, and I'm going to write this equation is 5 plus 4. And then after I count both of these, I'm going to realize that my answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or if I want to be smart and work smarter and count on, I know I'm going to start with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Work smarter, a lot less steps if you do it that way. So then down at the bottom, 4 plus 5 I know equals 9. And that next equation that I made, I just switched the order of my add-ins to 4 plus 5. And I know both of them are 9 because I did not take away any blocks. I did not add any blocks. I just took this number of blocks and moved it to the end, and this number of blocks and moved it to the beginning. Still going to get the same exact answer. So I just showed you how to use the undo button and the redo button, the erase button, your stamps, your drawings, and the delete all. So let's move to the next page and let's see if we can figure out some other tools. So on this page, it shows you everything that we did in that lesson or in the video that Miss Acton showed you a minute ago where it had her thinking. Is it easier to count on from the 6 or count on by the 3? We know it's definitely easier if you start on counting on the 6. And then it showed our equation in 2 different ways with the connecting cubes switching their spots. So the add-ins were switching. It showed how they're switching right here, and then it showed it the up and down way or the vertical way equation. So this is basically just 4 pictures showing you the video that we just watched, but you watched the video, so I wouldn't have to worry about it. So down here at the bottom is where I have some work that I need to do. So here they did some work for us. So they showed the connecting cubes, 3 plus 1 equals 4, and then they just switched the two of them. So the equation was 1 plus 3 equals 4. We're going to do the same thing over here. They've already written the equation, but we need to come up with the answer. So I'm not going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and count all of them. I'm going to count on. So I'm going to say 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 is my answer. I need to write that in there. So I can use my drawing tool. I want to use red to make it stand out, and I'm going to write 7 in there. So I already know because I listened to Miss Acton's lesson yesterday, did her assignment, paid attention to the video today, and watched her do the first example on the first page of this lesson in the workbook. So I know that these are going to be the exact same numbers because all they did was take this group of connecting cubes and switch it to the bottom, and this group of connecting cubes and switch it to the top. We didn't add any connecting cubes. We didn't make any connecting cubes disappear. They're all there. So I know my answer is still going to be 7, but my add-ins are going to be different. So again, I'm going to count on, but I'm going to start with the number 4. Because if I count on with the bigger number, I have less steps. 4, 5, 6, 7 is my answer. Woohoo! So 4 was my bottom number. 3 was my top number. So I showed my equation in 2 different ways. I got the same answer. I just switched the spot of my add-ins, but I get the same one. All right. So that was awesome. I showed you with the drawing tool of how you're going to do this, but now I want to show you a tool that might make it a little bit organized. It's a little bit trickier to use, but I want you to practice it. So I'm going to go get my eraser, and I'm going to erase all this beautiful work that we just did. Bye, beautiful work. Bye-bye. And I'm going to use this tool right here, the text tool. Oh, this text box open where I can type. That doesn't make any sense. We're not going to type that. But you can type up in there. So I already know what the answer to this equation is. It is 7. 4 plus 3 equals 7 because I just did it. So I'm going to go up to this text box and type the number 7 in. I'm going to make my text box a little smaller so it fits in there. And then I'm going to grab that 7 and I'm going to put it down here. Look how neat that is. It just takes an extra step. Before, with the tool, drawing tool, all you did was say, okay, I want red, and then you drew it. This one takes a little more steps. You have to do the text box. You got to go up there. You got to type what you want in there. You got to make your text box smaller. You got to click off of it and then click back on it to drag it and then put it where it goes. So it's just a lot more steps, but it does make your work a lot neater. And I want you to try it. So try to do at least one equation where you use the text box and have all of the numbers. So I've got, oh, and I did it wrong. So I need a 3, and then I need to switch those two and put them in the right spot. So let's grab that 3. 4, you're in the wrong spot. Move, you weirdo. So I got 3 plus 4, and then this last little box I need 7. I don't feel like doing that text box again. It's just too many steps, so I can just use the drawing tool. And Miss Acton, Miss Ramos, and Miss Jess can still tell what kind of work that I'm doing right there. Woohoo! I don't like that 7. It's bothering me. I don't like either one of those 7s. I'm going to erase those. So I'm going to go grab my eraser tool. 5, 7, I don't like you. 5, 7, I don't like you. Can I erase the text box? Nope, I sure can't. I'm still learning about this too, guys. All right, so if I want to get rid of that 3 and draw it, oh, I click on it and look, there's a trash can right there. So I can get rid of it. Are you sure you want to delete this? No, yes, I do. Oh, and then it just made that one disappear. Perfect. Usually if you make a text and it is when you make a text, usually you guys are working really slow, you don't mess it up. But if you do, that's nice to know that you can delete it. All right, so I want to do my text again. I want the number 3 up there at the top. I'm going to make it smaller. Oh, too small. I'm going to click off of it, grab it, put it where it's supposed to go. And I also want a 7 because I want this work to be nice and neat. And Miss Acton told me that I need to practice how to use the text box tool too. So I'm going to use it. Alrighty, all done. So that's page number 2. Then you have 3 more pages because you have 5 pages altogether. So then you have this page that has a lot of empty spots. Could you imagine trying to do the text box for every single one of these? It's going to be hard. So I would stick with that drawing tool. This would be a great page to practice this. Okay, so 8 plus 2, and it says you can use your cubes if you need it. Use cubes if needed. So if you need to use your cubes, use them. If you don't have to. So let's say I've got 8 plus 2. I think I need to use my cubes. So you can go over here, grab your stamp, pick your cubes. Remember, you click 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, not perfect. I do not care. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as Miss Acton can see what I'm trying to do. 1, 2, and then I can count all of them together. Or if you want to just count on, you can say 8, 9, 10. My answer is 10. But you'd also do that here with the connecting cube. So you'd say 8, 9, 10. So 10 is your answer. I need to go up and either grab my drawing tool and write 10, or if you want to fill in all of these empty spots with your text tool, you can go up there, type the answer that you've got, make it a little smaller, click off of it, and then grab it and put it where it's supposed to go. And since I know 8 plus 2 equals 10, the equation that matches it is going to be 2 plus 8. So I'm going to get my drawing tool, and I'm going to do 2 plus 8 because all I'm doing is switching those groups of connecting cubes. And look at my 8. Look how low it is down in here. But if I give this to Miss Ramos or Miss Jess, are they going to be able to tell what I tried to write there? Yes, they're going to be able to tell that that is an 8 right there. So it doesn't matter how sloppy, how much you go over the lines. As long as your teacher can read it, it'll be perfect. Don't worry about making it perfect, okay? You will be here all day long if you do. So try to fill in all of these spots down here and solve all these equations. You've got a little bit more to do down at the bottom. And then you have I believe this is the problem solving page. Yeah, problem solving page. It has some word problems on there. And then you have the homework practice page. And then the back of the homework practice page. And then that is it. So you're going to be doing all of that work using the tools that you have over here. And if you guys get hung up on any of this stuff, it gets too confusing, please, please, please do not hesitate to text or call your teachers or get in contact with your teachers, however that is, and have them help you. We don't want you guys struggling with this all day long. And if you find that you've been working on this assignment for an hour trying to figure out all these buttons, stop. Take a break, go get you something to drink, go do reading and writing, and come back and try it later, okay? We don't want you to be frustrated by this. This is just a practice. We want you to practice all these buttons because we're going to be using this Envisions math workbook probably for the rest of the year. So we want you guys to just be comfortable with it, to like to use it. So if it gets to be too crazy for you today after you practice for a little bit, just take a break and come back later, okay? Remember, contact your teachers if you have any trouble. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And Miss Acton will see my friends tomorrow.